I miss you.
Love you, Mommy.
This is a scene where Amy is home and Aisha does not know that she's home from work, and she stumbles across Aisha feeding her daughter African food, Senegalese food in particular.
Okay. At this point, Aisha has been allowing Rose to eat this food because it's what Rose prefers, and Amy walks in on Rose having lunch and is very upset by the fact that her daughter is eating this food that she deems as less than.
What are you feeding her?
I didn't know you were here.
That's not what I asked you. I worked so hard. So hard. And the one time I come home sick, I find you feeding my daughter food that is way too spicy for her tummy. What is even in this? What if she's allergic?
Nikiatu was so supportive of us to just find the authenticity and the truth of each of the moments. So I just approached it in a really grounded way, cognizant of where Aisha is in this script and that it is a very evolved place from where she started. As an actor, when you're studying or doing script analysis, one of the things you notice is who in the scene is really pushing it forward. At least at the very top of it, and that's Michelle, because she comes in so hot, so upset, and all I really had to do was respond to that in kind with the understanding of Aisha's power and where she's at in this moment. So between Aisha's power and Michelle's power, you just have these two women that go at it.
When I did come around the corner, I think I probably shocked Rose a little bit. It was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable for me to have that kind of aggression.
These were the takes where Rose, our child actress, had no idea what was going on. Michelle is so good at being unhinged. It's so fun to watch her play with tension and with rising rage. The subtext is all of these class dimensions.
Should I feed her this?
Privilege allows you to be blind to certain nuances. How is this nanny feeding my child? I have this specific food that's really organized and bland and soulless, kind of like the condo itself and kind of like Amy's marriage.
Since I've started, I have been buying her food or making some of my own. Did you ever wonder how your child was eating? Are you too busy to care?
As an actor, it always makes me nervous because I wasn't quite aware of what emotionally I might do, because this was, I think, the final scene actually that we shot in the relationship. And so it was the culmination for me as well in terms of the arc of the character. And so I'd been building into it, and emotionally I'd been building into it.
I want you to go pick out a book for Mommy to read to you, okay?
Acting is very physical for me, and so it was important for us to utilize the space. The kitchen island, I wanted to get across that island as an actor. You know, I wanted to be in her face, and I couldn't, and it was separating us. As disconnected as they were physically, they were probably more connected and really seeing each other for who they really were. It's a very confrontational scene. Amy's very much taken aback because it's the first time that she witnesses Aisha really step into her power.
My overtime hours.
Did you subtract the hours you spent losing track of my daughter?
My time is not free. At this point, Aisha has been experiencing these supernatural events.
Aisha starts to act out in ways that are much more rebellious.
This is a small community, and nannies talk. So do mothers.
I am a mother too. Rena Yang is our DP, and Nikiatu is adamant about hiring a DP that understood Black skin and that could light it well, and she did. She executed it beautifully. I've never been lit like this.
We shot two cameras. One was on Rose, our child actor, and the other one would be either on Amy or Aisha, just trying to be as invisible as possible with the camera and lighting in a way that we just wanted to capture the energy of the actors. We talked a lot about color palette of Amy's condo and Aisha's home, trying to differentiate their worlds. in Aisha's home, which is more kind of spontaneous and warm and handheld. And then Amy's world is a bit more controlled, and we would shoot on a dolly, and a bit more considered composition and camera movements.
Everything in the frame in the condo speaks to Amy and Adam's lifestyle, but also speaks to a specific color palette. The blues are very lagoon-like. They speak to the water motif.
I need an overnight from you tomorrow.
No.
I need to get out of here. I need
No.
to get away. I can't think in this overpriced shoebox. No, 7 to 7, 150 flat rate is very reasonable.
250
You drive a very hard bargain.
in advance.
It's a lot more open when you have a woman-led set. You can kind of like lean in a little bit more. It's sort of this welcome energy that feels very inclusive.
Nikki Ottu's talent as a writer and as a storyteller. She has an incredible capacity to write complex characters that are also nuanced, that say a lot in between the words.
Aisha, no, don't leave me.
Rose, I'll be back, okay?
That exist as many things, as mothers, as lovers, as workers, as survivors, as people that contain multitudes, as we all do. But it's difficult to write and it's difficult to execute.
My favorite moment in the movie actually is the scene that takes place right after the confrontation in the kitchen, which is when Anna looks into the actual cameras that have been watching her the whole time, and she turns it on them, and she actually looks straight into the camera. And that moment is so powerful for me thematically. It's just a really emotional moment for me to witness what it meant to the story, but as an actor, it was just a moment of awe for me.
I wanted to see something that felt like it explored the American dream, but also was specific to the African immigrant experience. I just hope that people see domestic workers around them and people who are marginalized with fresh eyes.